Hey everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Relax.Cut.Glue. If you're new here, welcome. I am so happy to have you all here with me today. So today I'm going to be playing in my Big Random Glue book, number 2. This is my second Big Random Glue book. My first one was the same type of sketchbook, only it was book bound, not spiral bound. So the signatures were sewn in. I much prefer the spiral bound. It's so much easier for glue bookers. And this glue book is getting really big. I'm going to have to take out some pages because it's already becoming an alligator mouth, which I'm fine with. I just don't want it to become too much bigger because then it's not fun to play in, you know, when one side is much higher than the other. Anywho, it's just a personal preference. Some people like a big, fat, chunky glue book and some people don't, and that's totally okay. Today I am really struggling with my fatigue. So if you hear me kind of breathing hard or taking a breath, please don't make fun of me. I like even talking is hard for me right now. So anywho, I just felt like I wanted to play in my Big Random Glue book because glue booking for me, and I don't know about you, it's different for everybody, but I started glue booking because I have been a lifelong crafter my entire life, and I like to try all different types of crafts. But as my fibromyalgia got worse and, you know, life got harder and, you know, you have kids and you have all this kind of stuff going on, right? I needed something that I could do to calm my anxiety, to something that I could craft when I wasn't feeling all that great, but I still wanted to do something. And that's where glue books came into play. It is so relaxing and so fun. And even if your pages don't turn out how you feel like they should, like maybe it's not your best work or whatever, that is totally okay, at least in my opinion. Because for me, glue booking isn't just about the end result or, you know, can I make a fabulous image or let's make some awesome surreal art or whatever. It's also about relaxation, de-stressing, kind of like a visual journal where I can go through my thoughts in my brain and just calm down and relax and slow down a little bit. And even when I'm tired, even when I'm fatigued or not feeling well, glue books are still fun for me, and that's what I love about them. They are really great for your mental health as well. I will stand firmly on that. I really, really believe it. So today I was really tired and I'm like, you know what I need? I need an old friend. And when I say tired, like tired and fatigue is very different than just being tired. Like I can't go take a nap and feel better. You know what I mean? Whereas if you're tired, you can take a nap and feel better. Anywho, this isn't a doctor channel. I don't have to tell you what fibromyalgia is all about. Anywho, so with my Big Random Glue book, I like everything to be super bright and colorful. Everything is random per the name, Big Random. And the one thing that I make things kind of the one thing I do that brings everything together is that everything is very colorful and bright, and your eye really moves around the pages. Um, yeah, so, you know, I'll go through my images and I'll find anything that's bright and colorful, and then when I put them all together, they just work. It's kind of like, so I did another page in this glue book where I found a bunch of images and magazines that were all kind of like woodland themed with like mushrooms and Bigfoot and forest scenes and stuff like that. While it was kind of a theme, everything was kind of random, but it all went together because the colors were similar and some of the stuff kind of had a theme going through it. You know what I mean? So I guess you could say my theme is kind of lots of color, almost rainbow-esque, if you will, you know, and that way everything kind of goes together for me. I really, really love that taco image up there with the guacamole. Oh my gosh, I love it. I thought about saving it for a different page where I put like tacos and margaritas and avocados and all kinds of stuff. And then I thought, you know what? I'm always saving images for something. Like, just use the images. You're always going to have more come your way. Even if it's hard for you to find magazines, you know what I mean? Just use the image. There's no point in just keeping it tucked away in a basket or a folder or anything like that, at least in my opinion. I know I'm a lot better about that now than I was even 5 years ago. I tend to I still tend to hoard good images for a little while, but then I will use them because what I've noticed is the ones that I hoard for a really long time, they're just shoved in a basket. Sometimes they get ruined or folded or ripped. Where why not just put them in my book where I know they'll be nice and safe and honored and treasured forever? You know what I mean? So use the images, just use them. I spent a lot of time over the weekend fussy cutting since I couldn't really do much. I've been really harvesting and fussy cutting for my twinchies, and I've been fussy cutting for the giveaway basket for the end of the month. If you're new here, at the end of every month, I give away a bunch of images to two people that I pick randomly. These videos are at the end of the month, and I'll post in the title that this is the giveaway basket day or whatever. But yeah, I give away quite a few images to two people. But last month, I didn't do the giveaway. It was my first month of the year that I didn't. And that's just because I was prepping for my retreat and I forgot to add it into the video. And I just figured I'll do double this month. So this month I will be picking 4 winners instead of 2. So that will be exciting. So I've been fussy cutting like crazy, trying to get images in the basket. So I'm excited about that. So fussy cutting has kind of been my go-to for the last few days. One of the days my hands were starting to hurt. I think I just did it for way too long because I couldn't really do much else. And my brain wanted to do stuff. My body was like, nah, girl, you need to put those scissors down. But I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I want to cut. I've been having a lot of fun finding images for my color glue books as well. Okay, surprisingly enough, so you guys know I keep my images in little plastic envelopes for my color glue book. So I have my red and orange are in one envelope, yellow, green, etc. My yellow green folder envelope is getting so stuffed. I'm finding so many yellow and green images, and I'm starting to wonder if that's a color that they use in magazines a lot because maybe it's bright and cheery and calming at the same time, those two colors. I don't know, but there's a lot of yellow and green stuff. So much. And then I've talked about how purple is very hard to find in magazines. It's just rare. It's probably one of the rarest colors, I would say. And I am finding so much purple. Like, what is happening? Ever since I said it's a hard color to find. I mean, you can ask anybody that harvests. It's just not as common. And I'm finding it everywhere. So I'm really excited to work on that. I'm finding a ton of brown images too, which I at first wasn't really looking forward to doing the brown pages. I used to say I hated brown. I don't hate brown. It's not my favorite. It's kind of depressing to me, I think is what it is, because you guys know I love color. But I found some really good brown images, some, like a Dooney and Burke purse. I have cookies and candy bars and chocolate and furniture and like all kinds of stuff. So I'm excited about that. But I'm really excited about my purple page, which is hilarious because you guys know I'm not a purple fan, but I'm finding so many purple things. And then what's really fun for me is when I find an image. So in my color glue books, on one half of the book, I do red, the other half I do orange, and whatever 2-color combination I'm working with. And then in the middle where the 2 pages connect, I've been adding images that are like both of those colors. So I've been finding a ton of yellow and green images that I can put in that middle section. Chef's kiss. So anytime, like my next book after my green and yellow is my blue and purple, and I've been finding blue and purple things that will go in that middle page, and it just makes me so happy. All right, so now I have finished putting my entire background down, and I'm just going to go through and cut off the edges of everything that I have hanging over, and now we can start adding our fussy cuts. And the fussy cuts I have are just a little bit bigger than what I normally use. I normally use like my Twinchy size images, but I'm hoarding those for my Twinchy book. So I won't use those. So some of my images are a little bit bigger. There's no rule. There's no rule in any kind of glue book. Just do whatever makes you happy, So I added Miss Rachel, and I'm just adding a bunch of things that have color. And I love that Sharpie Creative marker thing right there. I got a ton of fun art supply images out of like the Target catalog, like the holiday catalogs that are coming out, Walmart, Target, and Amazon. I've been cutting out all the stuff in there for my Twinchies, as well as things like this, my glue books and stuff, because I love the art section. Play ball. Adding the fussy cuts is kind of what brings everything together. And I know some people don't like to cover up the images that are in the background, but I put those down knowing that part of those images are going to be cut up. So don't use an image that you don't want to cover at all. I mean, you can. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying, if you want to do the technique that I use, make sure you're putting down images that you don't mind being covered up a little bit. Sometimes when you add an image to something, it can actually make the background image pop more. So I'm just basically putting images in spots where images connect, and I feel like there's kind of a dull area. And that's why I put my images, my little fussy cuts, where I do. And I'm going to fully admit, I was struggling a little bit today because I'm a little off. You know what I mean? When you're not feeling at your best, your brain's a little foggy, but you know what? I had the best time. I really did. And it took my mind off of things. And that's what this is all about for me. And in the end, I do love my page. And you know what's really interesting? Well, at least to me, when I do my glue book pages, sometimes I look at them when I'm done and I'm like, whatever. It's not that great. But then I come back to it like a day later and I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? This looks way better than I thought it did 2 days ago. But I think because we get so hyper focused on where we're putting our images, that sometimes we lose the bigger picture. And so if you're feeling frustrated or like things aren't going the way you want them to, get up and walk away, even if it's just for 5 minutes. But if you put it down, what you're working on, and come back in 20 minutes, a couple hours, the next day, your page is going to look different to you and you'll have a different outlook on it and you will be able to finish it at that point. In my opinion, at least that's what helps for me. My sister has been very into watercolor. I talk about that quite a bit. And she will send me a picture and go, I'm not in love with it. I don't like it. I think this should be more like this and this piece should be more like that. And I'm like, then walk away. Walk away. And that's what she does. And she'll come back to it later that day or the next day. And she likes it way more than she did the day before. And I think it's because we just get so zoned in that it blocks our creativity and we just can't put it together. You know what I mean? So if you're having that problem and you don't like the way your page is going, just walk away or turn the page and start working on something else. You know what I mean? That's why in my composition notebooks, I love to just flip the pages around and just put something wherever I feel like it needs to go at the time. You don't have to sit down and finish a page every single time. You know what I mean? You can bounce around the book and just play. That's the best part. I love picking words that have interesting fonts, funny sayings, or bright colors, especially for my big random glue book. I really prefer them to have a color, or I'll use white with black lettering, things that pop. I really enjoy that. I really like using white words or white background with black words for my color things like this, like that number 43. See how much it just pops on the page? So when you're going through your glue books, or I'm sorry, when you're going through your magazines and you see numbers or, the and sign or whatever, cut those out and use those in your glue books because they actually look really cool. At least in my opinion. If you don't think they look cool, don't do it. You know what I mean? But don't discount the numbers and stuff like that, especially for a random style like this. Using numbers and letters and things like that look really cool. Oh, I love it so much. I love the pinky up. I was going to save that for my yellow and green glue book. And then I was like, Nicole, you cannot hoard all of your images for all these glue books. You just need to use them. And I'm kind of getting in this stuck mindset where, no, I have to save that for my color glue book, or I have to save that for my Twinchies, or I have to save that for this glue book. Stop. Just stop. Like, keep some for that, but if you want to use it, just use it. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that to myself as well because it's getting out of control. I can't just hoard all my images for certain books. Like, just use it. You'll find more images. It's fine. Different places that you can find magazines are if you go to a hair salon or your doctor's office or whatever, you can always ask them for their used magazines. You can look on Facebook Marketplace for magazines. You can look on any kind of app like Nextdoor, Craigslist, although be careful. You can get free magazines at the library. Sometimes they charge you like a quarter or $1. Thrift stores, friends and family, your neighbors, and all that jazz. All right, everyone, that is going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me chat with you. I hope you have an amazing day. Don't forget to drink your water, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, friends.